Japanese police claim the death toll has exceeded 1,000 people. Well, this comes amid warnings of new threats in the country. Officials fear there's a risk of another explosion at the Fukushima power plant, but remain confident it can withstand the blast like the first reactor did on Saturday. Well, the government is also saying that the second reactor in Fukushima could be experiencing a partial meltdown. Meanwhile, radiation has increased 400-fold in the region of Miyagi, which lies dozens of kilometres further north. It's not clear at the moment if the radiation came from the local nuclear plant or drifted up from the facility in Fukushima following Saturday's explosions. Officials claim the radioactivity released so far does not pose a threat to human health. Having said that, the number of people admitted to hospitals suffering exposure is said to be rising amid a series of aftershocks that continue to rock the country. The Japanese Prime Minister has been addressing the situation, and he said that 12,000 people were rescued so far. The estimated death toll from the earthquake-triggered tsunami in the Miyagi province alone is believed to exceed 10,000. Meanwhile, the emergency services are on high alert in the Russian Far East. RT's Ekaterina Grachova gazes at the situation for us in the Sakhalin region.
Emergency officials here for the Sakhalin region are saying that levels of radiation remain normal, and they've been on high alert. They are constantly checking those levels every 2 hours ever since there was an explosion at the Fukushima plant, which is just 600 miles away from where we are now. We can actually check for ourselves the levels of radiation around. What I'm holding is the so-called Geiger counter. It measures radiation levels around, and the figure it is showing now is jumping between 1 and 2 microns per hour. This counter is professionally used in seismic laboratories by the Emergencies Ministry and other specialized services. Well, to give you an idea how much that actually is, the level is much lower than the average in the capital of Moscow, and also a passenger on a plane flying from Moscow to Vladivostok, for example, receives as much as 22 microns per hour, which is tenfold the figure the counter is showing now in the capital of the Sakhalinsk region, Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk. Well, of course, officials are on high alert as they are receiving confirmed reports from the authorities in Japan that nuclear meltdown is very likely at the Fukushima plant. And the good news, though, is that as a lot depends on the weather, the wind is now going in the direction of the Pacific Ocean. But from what we know from other independent experts, in case of an explosion inside one of the reactors at the Fukushima plant, the radiation would be spreading in waves, and this part of Russia, this region, is the closest to Japan. The Kuril Islands, for example, are some 200 miles away from Fukushima. People here are closely monitoring the situation, and ever since the first reports about the Fukushima accident were shown on their TVs, they literally can't believe their eyes that all this is happening in such a vicinity. On Saturday, they've been trying to call the Emergencies Ministry. The line was always busy to find out whether there's any threat to their health and what preventive measures could be taken, starting from where they could get these Geiger counters to measure radiation levels for themselves, to ending up to buying bottles of red wine to prepare themselves for a possible radioactive emission. Well, but still a lot depends on the people, and the reaction has been different. We, for example, spoke to the director of the local seismic station, and he says he's not afraid at all.